Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
Kenny's up early, ready to fire it up.
No, it's all good, man. I was gonna if I'm not on this, I'm in the garden. I've got to go some stuff in the yard to do. So
You have a nice garden or what?
the yard needs a lot of work. So I've been doing a lot of yard work. I've got garden. I've got everything in pots now. I took away the garden. When we moved into this house, I didn't do a garden anymore. I do all the tomatoes in the pots. I do the herbs in the pots.
Wow.
Right. It's just
Well,
easier.
listen, if I come to Vancouver, I expect to try a tomato at least.
First one
Listen.
come to Vancouver. Two, I got to make sure you come on time because if the Habs are playing, I'm not going to make the list.
Oh, I love that.
Listen, if you go to Vancouver, get Kenny to make you food. Guy can cook.
Good.
Yeah, you come over.
Oh, yeah.
Come over for dinner.
Yeah,
For sure.
the guy can cook
That
for sure.
That gets me excited. So
No,
Yeah.
I like to eat,
Yeah.
but I'm not cooking
Yeah.
I mean, I can do stuff, but I'm not cooking too healthy. So
no.
you're gonna have to
Screw
dumb
the
it down a little bit.
Screw the healthy at that point. Screw the
Okay,
healthy.
I'm just making sure. Don't start coming over and looking for
The
I
other
don't
thing
know,
you got to do, you got to hire Mama Vanucci to bring biscotti into your lineup. That's what you got to do.
Oh,
Mama Vanucci's biscotti is
could be
like,
the next line.
yeah, there you go.
You know what? It could
you
be because Mona's already made. Always one. Does Phil need more cookies? I don't know. I'll find out. I'll check with Phil.
You just tell her anytime she feels like making cookies, she can send them this
You know
way.
what? That's what my dad
I
said.
will-
Just make them.
No. Yeah. We are not going to say no. Those things are wicked.
No,
Man.
We'll do that.
What's going on with you? You were at like a pivotal game the other
You
night.
jammed on us, but you picked the best.
You
night
picked the best
ever.
game that you could ever be at.
Come on, tell me that was not an exciting game.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
must have been awesome to have been there.
There's a couple of things that happened. So it was so first I couldn't get into the Bell Center. So the Bell Center is where the Canadians
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
They're only allowing 3,500 people per game, right? So
Right.
the
Okay.
stadium is 22,000, and outside the Bell Center there must be 50,000 people.
Oh, easy.
So-
It was crazy.
Yeah. So I couldn't get into the Bell Center, so I had to pay a security guard to walk me through the Bell Center because my tickets, you have to designated area to where you have to go in. You can't go in anywhere you want. So I had to pay a security guard. We finally got walked in 5 minutes before the game. We sat down, got the beers going, had the time of our lives. Game was going, nerves were coming. 28 years the Habs haven't been to the
I know.
Stanley Cup playoffs. Stanley Cup Finals, I mean.
You're making us cry here, right? 28 years.
Yeah, 28
That's like a drop in the bucket. Like there's
I
no
know.
winning in my lifetime.
Oh, yeah, you guys have
Probably
a bad-
isn't
I'm in
any winning.
Vancouver.
Phil has
There
a
probably
bad-
isn't any winning in Kenny's lifetime, and he's actually lived longer than me. So whatever, man. 28 years is
Wow.
like a drop in the bucket.
Exactly.
So I get to the game's crazy. The Bell Center's wild. Then you get a message at the third period saying you have to stay in the Bell Center. It's on lockdown because they can't get people. They won't be able to get people out because
No.
they're so crowded outside, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll be here for a long time, whatever. Then overtime happens. I end up going to my friend's area. They had like an area where I jumped over the fence to watch in their seating area, and we ended up winning. And I was like, holy shit, this is the craziest experience. And then we were an hour and a half locked in to the Bell Center. And then when we got out, hear this out. This is the crazy part. It's cleared out. We were good to go, walk to the car. Everyone's celebrating downtown. And we get outside, and then suddenly a cop car gets flipped in front of the Bell Center. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm like to my buddies, I'm like, yo, we're in the middle of this right now.
Yeah, you gotta get out.
Then the tear gas came. We got tear gassed. And
Holy shit, really?
it was crazy. I actually vlogged the entire thing because I was like, this isn't a one-time experience. And it was the craziest thing. It tastes like spiciness in your mouth, but then your eyes are like on fire. And we ended up running. It felt so chaotic. And then I got to the car, and then we only got home at 2:33 in the morning. And the city was just erupting. Montreal was like erupting. And
On fire.
Habs are going to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's why I missed the podcast.
Craziness.
That's crazy.
Craziness. Well, I guess that's acceptable.
Yeah,
if you're gonna have a reason, that's a good reason.
I guess that's acceptable.
Yeah, that one we'll let you have. I would have forgot us for the Habs for Game 7 as well. So just you're very clear. I would have bailed on us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would have made Phil do it on his own. I'm out.
I don't even watch hockey anymore. I would have bailed on us.
No, but a game like that.
Are you kidding? Yeah, of course you got to go.
That's
Yeah.
pretty historical.
The energy was crazy, guys, and like I'm just looking forward to if they win, it's going to be even crazier.
It'd be nice if they did. I mean, it'd be good. We haven't had a Canadian team in a long time.
Yeah.
We haven't had the Canadians in a long time. Right?
They actually
nice.
coincide, right?
Yeah.
Because I think your Canucks were the last ones to make a finals.
Yeah, and that
In
was
between.
We have our riots.
Like in between, right?
2011.
Yeah,
that was
in
close,
between.
though. That was close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it though, right? Like you actually live in the two cities that got close enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, but we've only been close enough twice, and who
Yeah.
cares? You know what
Yeah.
close enough counts for?
Close enough. Almost is a key word, you know?
Yeah,
Almost.
almost.
well,
Who gives a
listen.
shit?
I live in a city where there's no almost. We're just
At least
not.
you guys have some cups. We're
Yeah.
still hanging on
Oh,
to the
no,
Vancouver
come
Millionaires
on.
1919 or some fucking
Our
thing.
cups are almost as old as your cups. So what are you talking about? Everyone's like,
We've never had one.
They get dusty.
buddy. I'm.
You guys at least, what,
67,
67,
49,
68,
and I
whatever?
haven't seen one in my lifetime.
No, I think you got.
As far as I'm concerned, that's not.
When's
a
the last one they
cup.
won? 67, 68,
Yeah, something like that.
66?
Yeah,
Toronto needs to wake up. Toronto needs to wake up.
yeah,
They need to wake up.
yeah. We
The
need
richest-
a little
they got the
fire
most
in our
money-
belly.
They got the most money in the country, like the biggest city. Let's
Yep.
buy a team.
Hey, so I've been taunting my buddies, right? Because I've just been like, the Canadians make a really good case for flipping, and they're all like, "What are you insane?" I'm like, if I just look at win-loss record, I look at, like forget payroll, forget all that crap, forget about who you bring in. These guys just have a better winning record overall. Like if I were a fair weather fan, I'll just move for an entire decade, and then maybe I'll think about coming back, right? Like.
A lot worse places you could be.
This might be the last time you see me alive, actually, because I don't.
Yeah, that's wild, guys. That's wild.
Oh,
No,
man.
it's the Canadians don't even have the best team, but they're playing with heart and
You
carry.
don't need
Yeah.
the best team.
It's a
You
raw.
need the best
Yeah.
team at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
All
Like
you need. That's all you
Yeah.
need.
they're gelling at the
really-
right
that's
time.
it.
The goaltending
That's
is
it.
good.
Yeah.
They look good on the ice.
Yeah.
Playing with, like you said, a lot of heart. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. It hasn't been an easy run either. It's not like
No.
I mean, they earned their spot.
Yeah. They really did.
I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't followed in years either. I mean, after the last strike, I just got pissed off
Yeah.
at the sport.
Yeah.
But no, I it's exciting. It's kind of cool, right? Okay, what's with the one we shipped to Las Vegas
Oh,
and wearing a Vegas hat? What's the matter with her?
oh my
She
god.
forget what country she's from?
No, she doesn't
Did we
know.
lose Celine? No, what happened?
Yeah, of course. It makes no sense. She should be back here, my friend.
What's the
It
matter
made
with
no
her?
sense. It made no sense.
Celine?
Celine Dion.
I don't know.
Vegas hat.
Celine's because Celine lives there.
Her
Who
business-
cares?
her
She
business-
lives there. She's got a beautiful place there. She's,
She's not supposed to forget where she came from. That's the
Sure,
rules.
sure.
You can't forget. You don't go wear their hat. You're from Australia, losers.
It's
Oh, my
crazy.
goodness.
That was sad though. That was a little sad.
No, that's wrong.
So
She should
is
know better.
your next flavor going to be a tear gas flavor? Is that what it's going to be?
Spicy and it makes you cry.
You should have an early. You
That's
should
all
have a
about
limited
the
release
tear
Stanley
gas.
Cup tear gas flavor.
Tear gas
Midday
flavor.
Square.
I like that. The spicy and burning. It's spicy burning.
Yeah,
station.
spicy burning.
Yeah, I
Seriously.
like
Spicy burning.
You could
Yeah,
do that.
you can get it right beside the one
Try
with
it.
almonds and
I think people would actually want to try it. Like, okay, if you call it tear gas, they want to know what the experience potentially would be like if they went through tear gas, So we can make that happen.
You're the only. I've never heard anybody who's been tear gassed. So I just assumed it'd be like just burning all over, like burning in your
Yeah.
mouth, your eyes. So,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's interesting. I see there is a flavor in that. You
Yeah.
see, he didn't say it was offensive,
Of course.
like in the taste. So maybe like a wasabi kind of
Yeah, it's like
that
shoving-
kind of thing where you get that hit.
Yeah, imagine shoving a lot of wasabi down your throat with no water and then your eyes having Tabasco sauce in them. That's what it feels like.
okay.
I don't know about that
That's-
flavor anymore. Maybe, it's a little too
maybe
intense.
maybe as a bar.
Maybe we need to dumb
Who's your
down
competitor?
tear gas.
Maybe we can suggest it to them. That might be a better.
Yeah.
Let's send them the data. Let's send them the data.
Hey guys, we think this would be really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
If listeners hadn't figured it out, we got Jake Karls on from Midday Squares. He is back on. We had Jake on. When did we have you on? Like a year ago, maybe?
Little longer.
Maybe a little bit more.
A little
Yeah, a
longer
little bit
now.
more. Yeah. And
Pre-COVID.
no, right at the beginning of COVID, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. Anywhere, somewhere in there, and you had just started. Yeah,
maybe.
because you were talking about online and the shift to online.
I had met you.
I
met you in Vancouver pre-COVID. You were here like that, October, November, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we had you on just after because we were thinking, how are you going to launch now, right? Because you were just getting excited. You had 50 feet in the tower and stores or Avril stores or whatever the hell you had. So you're just starting to rock it, and then you guys went mental.
What a year! What a year! From obviously there's good and bad with everything, but it was a roller coaster, guys. A complete roller coaster, wild extremes on both sides, and it was. So I remember, Kenny, you're right. We met previous to COVID,
right?
And because we were at the trade show, actually we weren't. We were supposed to be at.
No, I met you in the coffee bar.
Yeah, exactly. Show me the coffee bar. We came there early, and then we were shifting. Phil, you're right. We were shifting more to an online transition at the time. Because we started to see the effect of COVID actually coming in retail. So it was crazy, guys.
So what's the year been like?
So catch us up, man. What's going on?
Give us the dirt.
Yeah, so so basically it started like this. 70% of retail sales dropped in March, right away, right off the bat. Canadian retail, 70% dropped. We were panicking. We had $10,000 in the bank account. Okay, so my partners and I came together, and we actually felt for the first time that there's actually potential that the business is in uncertainty, just because we had rent, we had machines that recently came into from our automation, have recently came into our factory. We couldn't get engineers in from Europe to start the machine, so they were going to be idle because Canadian engineers were actually unable to play with these machines. We needed for the warranty, we needed the European ones to come in. Government wasn't allowing them in, and we got together, the three of us. I remember the conversation on our couch in our office, and we said, holy shit, either we pivot here and make a decision of something, or this business is going to shut, and we're going to have to lay off probably the entire team, production, operations, to just get us afloat. With $10,000 in your bank, you're running short, right? And so we came back the next day, and we said, here's the plan. We're going on offense. Even if we don't have the money, we're going on the offense. We're going to go after online. We're going to transition our retail budget, which was all demoing, trade marketing, all that jazz, even spending on how to acquire new customers in retail. We said, we're going to spend it on hiring our performance team. So my brother-in-law comes from the ad buying space. That's what he was previously. He started structuring his team the way he structured it in the previous business he had, and it became specifically ad buying. So they started using the content creators we had in-house to create great ads and just start spending a lot more on targeting and focus every budget from, I think it was 90% transition to online, and let retail be the way it be, and just let it go. Whatever happens. They were already shifting their products in retail from grab and go items to wartime brands, in quotations. Let's just call it, I like to call it that, like the crafts, that
makes sense. Let's see what we say it.
Yeah. Top ranking SKUs, suppliers that can supply. Yeah.
So then what happened, guys, we had influencers going, we had everything going. We ended up spending all the money we had. We hired a shit ton of people. We actually hired performance teams. We hired more content creators. We went on that offense, and we said, if this is going to fail, at least we're going to die on the hill, and we're going to go on the offense route. So we ended up not having to lay off anyone. We ended up launching a SKU 3 months later, a new SKU called Peanut Butter, which is our number one by far. And we went so hard that we actually jumped 180%. We hired 15 people. We ended up building the business so strong that what happened was we played on permissible indulgence. So the fact that we were a grab and go item and the category was down 40% in grab and go products like bars, we shifted the attention and storytelling to be more about indulgence, on how chocolate is an indulgent and you could enjoy it, have it, but also get some functions out of it. That shift blew us up in retail because it allowed us to play the game of, okay, you're going to go enjoy this snack at the daytime when you're at home, even though you're not at your office, you're not doing work anywhere else, but you can enjoy the chocolate and still enjoy that moment. And, at the end of the day, even though we lost all our gyms and our juice bars, our cafes and all those places, the retail started to slowly climb back up. And they started shifting now back us up to the front of the stores where the refrigerators had that grab and go stuff. But the play was on indulgence. It was on permissible indulgence. And our peanut butter SKU was a play on taste like a Reese. So when it tastes like a Reese, we started playing on nostalgia. And we realized that game is a very strong game to play, because if we use their marketing, they spent tens of millions of dollars over the years building the Reese brand marketing. If we could just remind them of the flavor profile, they'll tell others, oh my God, this tastes like a Reese's, but with great ingredients. So then we started jumping sales, and we ended up launching the US in 2021. And it was a great year, a great lesson, and retail came back. And we're now a 45% D2C business, 55% wholesale. Pre-COVID, we were 20, I think, 20 D2C, 80% wholesale. We want to eventually get back to 70-30,
right?
535 retail to D2C. But like I said, for us right now, life's coming back. The page is turning, which is great. The good thing is we acquired a lot of customers in that time from the online game, which end up increasing the store locator research on our pages. So what ends up happening is when you do this influencer work and stuff like that, people come to the website and they actually want the intent to purchase at stores. So the store locator page went from 400 unique a day to like 800. That's a lot more customers wanting to find it in retail. And retail's not dead. I think people have a misconception on that.
Not at all.
No,
yeah.
Not at all.
In retail now, again, strong.
Yeah. I think what people need to understand, why I find this story more fascinating than not, is you were in a category that really didn't exist anyway. There was no such thing as really refrigerated bars, right? Anything in a bar format, let's pretend it's not a power bar, but pretend it's all that stuff. Those are in sets that were well established, and typically in a vitamin set or a health aisle, whatever. But you were in an odd space as it was. So to even during COVID to pivot to the front, and none of it makes sense. Bottom line, you should have failed, right? Because it doesn't make any sense the category was non-existent. The space made no sense. Why displace you up front? Yeah. Especially now they're scrambling, retailers, right? Because they're trying to get any penny they can because the stores are restricted, especially your two provinces. I mean, we never closed. Like, we never really appreciated it as hard as you guys did. You guys actually physically closed. You had, you couldn't buy non-essentials. We never had that. We had limits in the stores. We had lineups, whatever. The Superstore was always open. Safeway was open, or Save-On was open. Everything was open. So I find it amazing that you guys were still able to.
You know what our biggest
space?
Yeah, Kenny. So the good thing is obviously Phil's province right now is fully, I think, closed. Montreal's slowly opening up, which is great. But for us, what we realized was our biggest problem in Canada was always being a new, like you said, a new product within a new category that exists in the US, doesn't exist in Canada. Was we were pioneering the space, and we were getting gypped with the major retailers to put it in the section of dairy. Dairy's busy. Dairy section is busy in the store. Don't get me wrong, but it's those are listed shoppers going to find their milk, their eggs, their Tropicana, whatever it is. We don't do well there because we're an impulse grab and go item, and we were put there in between an egg and a milk carton. Right. It was horrible. So what I would do is try to get in touch with the buyers of these big stores and try to convince them to move me to produce, where we tested at franchise stores the movement, and we were selling 4 times more, and they just don't want to move it. They do not want to move it. They think that because it's high traffic, the dairy section.
Also different buyers then too at that point, right? You got
you got to transfer SKUs,
taking my stuff
and taking my stuff and my volume, and
So we realized that, and we said, the online game, we don't have that problem.
No.
So we could win in that online game, build the customer, build the awareness, get people to know the product, try the product. And then if they want to find it in store, it's a little difficult to find it, but they now want the product. They have that intent to really look for it. They'll look for it, even if we say dairy, but dairy has thousands on thousands of SKUs. Yeah. So now I use my microphone on LinkedIn. I built a microphone on LinkedIn over COVID, where I posted fun, crazy shit on that stuff. And now I post stuff to get the buyer's attentions. So I'll post a picture of different fridges from different stores, and without implying who the retailers are, and it gets their attention. And then they want to talk, and then they get mad that I called them out. But for me, it's like, how can I get heard? I can't get heard. I try to bring in other brands. You don't want to bring in any other refrigerated snacks. So I have to win this pioneer. We have to win this pioneer set by doing crazy, crazy things that aren't conventional, right? I can't sit in the dairy section and get the turns you need to turn with 3 SKUs sitting there, single file. You can't even see the product. It's like, unless you literally look to the T's, literally look like your eyes are microscoping, you'll never find our product. And then when you ask someone in the store, no one wants to know. No one knows where it is. No one knows what they're talking about. And then in COVID, in Quebec and Ontario, at least, people were scared, in quotations, to go to the store. So we were getting smoked, actually smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So now we just have an 80-20 rule. It's very simple. 20% of the stores that do 80% of our revenue, we just focus and build the relationships with. So places like Tao, Avril, Whole Foods, places where we know we can get the SKUs to be pushed to be let's triple faced, quad faced, or even in
and all in the right places.
Exactly. And it worked. But the big stores, unfortunately, they're still not giving us that real chance. And our numbers are coming from the independents, the natural independents. We did get London Drugs, by the way, Kenny, in a test for their new refrigerators, by the way, in Vancouver. They have these, and we're killing it. We're killing it, but they didn't believe in it at first. They said this is a new type of thing that we don't think is going to work, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, we're in it, selling the wildfire. And for us, it's just like we have trouble being heard. And we're looked at a lot of the time as young millennials, that 3 millennials that started a brand that make noise, very good at media, but can they really execute? And the truth is we can. We've hit all our numbers we wanted to hit. We've grown over 100% year over year, got our margins up to where we got. We built an automated factory, but the problem with retail is we're still getting treated, unfortunately, with that placement and saying, you know what, you guys don't know what you're talking about in quotations, but I've proven the research. And it's been a hard road. That's been a really hard road for us.
Because you're crossing too many buyers. That's why. Because you got to remember, like as soon as you get into, I think when you were in Vancouver that time, I was telling you the problem with the refrigeration category is a shitty category.
Yeah.
The buyers are typically, no, this is exaggeration, typically old school.
Yep.
Nothing new. By the time they get, like a new pizza is exciting. Who gives a fuck about a pizza? It's a category that's been around for 50 years. Give us something new. Where the other side would try it, but because you're refrigerated, they can't do it. And it's always the same. It's trying to battle buyers, right? And unfortunately, the side you're on is a little more difficult.
Wait, so let's level set this for the audience, right? So the midday squares, they have to be refrigerated, right? And so that's one of the primary challenges of what you got to do. And then so when you would get to grocers, they would put you with milk and eggs. It's kind of a weird yogurt,
whatever,
right? It's kind of a weird space for you, right? So where did you go that kind of like jumps your volume now?
So first of all, we launched in the US a store called Sprouts, the natural independent store.
Run spins.
Yeah,
Sprouts, baby. Yeah.
So they put us in a cooler called Fresh Finds, which is the snacks that are just fresh snacks that are like different types of snacks that you grab and go. Now we're going to be removed from there in 2 months, which is great, to the real section, which is in the dairy. But here's the thing. The dairy set there has a section dedicated to refrigerated snacking. So you've got
different, right?
You've got bars, you've got snacks, you've got hummuses, you've got cool stuff, overnight oats, you've got everything. So it's a destination that's doing
it's a whole section we don't have here.
We don't have it. So I try to bring it in here.
Yeah.
The problem is again, you're right, Kenny. It's an old school buyer on that side of the
crossing too many buyers.
Buyers.
So, but who owns that in the U.S.? Like, so that kind of that new set of like
Perfect Bar, Perfect Snacks.
But Perfect Snacks is who? Is that yogurt or dairy? Like, which buyer is that normally?
It's the dairy buyer.
Dairy buyer.
They're more modern because Perfect Bar, the company Perfect Bar, does.
Yeah.
Don't quote me perfectly on it, but maybe $100 to $180 million a year in that section.
Yeah, they've got a voice, right? The difference isn't really in anything. Is that first off, Sprouts is a little more progressive.
Yep.
Starting with a new snack thing is very cool, right? So you actually started in the perfect place. Really and truly, if you want to get going, that's where you start. The move over to where you're going is another perfect move.
Yeah.
But that's a different retailer. That's a retailer that understands it. The problem when you get into grocery, it's old school. Unless you're one of the majors and you got all the listing fees and all the co-op, like all the boring shit that consumers don't know because it's not their world. That's why you don't get a lot of innovation. It just by the time these guys get their shit together.
It's a huge risk though, right? I mean, like 4 feet of shell to give like, well, okay. So, but in a fridge,
they got 3 SKUs.
But in a fridge, you're still talking like, what are you going to give up?
Space. It's just definitely finite.
Even a foot, right? Like a foot vertically of space. It's a lot of volume, right? Like it's a lot of volume. It's a lot of
guaranteed volume.
Not, this doesn't help you, Jake, but I mean, from a retailer perspective, like if you and I wanted to get that done at a retailer, Kenny, that's like hundreds of hours of bar set.
even
justification.
the normal bar set is tough. Because you're upsetting brands that we already know. But as a buyer, you're still trying. You're supposed to be trying to find stuff to excite your consumer to drive new traffic. Agree. I mean, and the thing is, you weren't. By the time you're getting to buyers now, you're not an unproven anymore.
No,
like the concept works, right? Yeah. No matter what, you can argue it all day. I mean,
well,
even the
and
London
with
people,
Sprouts,
you've
got spins, which will help your case significantly.
For the US, it helps our case. In Canada, it's so. So here's the thing. So I got our data finally across the entire Canadian retail. So we're in 1,200 doors. We're not in that many. We're gonna get Loblaws about
1,200 doors is pretty significant. Yeah,
1,200 in Canada. Yeah, and Loblaws is about to come on in August, so that would be a big one.
So it's like 3,000 doors.
No, we're getting the natural. They put us in natural value, believe it or not.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay.
In itself, that I can get all type of talk, but
okay.
But the thing was, we got the data across Canada, including all the Sobeys, the Metros. And we're doing, on average, listen to these numbers: 4 cases per week of peanut butter, 2 cases of almond crunch per week, and then 2 cases of fudge per week. On average, think about it across. That's not for top performers. That's average. That's 4 times 12 is 48. That's a lot. 48 plus, that's almost $100 a week.
I'll just tell you right now, emphatically, because I know they don't do that in the other sets. The Cliff Bar does not do that.
Yeah.
Power Bar does not do. Leno's bars do that.
And so
you're in a bizarre set.
Yeah.
So, and then let me tell you what it is when it's in the right set. When it's in like an independent, they do it right, or when a franchise does it right, like an IGA or does it right, or like a Metro does it right. We're seeing 12 cases of peanut butter, 6 of a week of fudge, and 4.9 of almond. That's serious numbers.
That's a really nice number. You got a nice ring, and you're profitable.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, maybe the way to go about this. It's a little unconventional, right? But you have complementary products in the sets in Sprouts, for example. Maybe what you got to do is reach out to those guys and put together a story for the dairy buyer up here. Because that's compelling, right? Like you on your own, and then if one of those guys aren't calling him, if you guys aren't talking the same language, the story doesn't stitch together. But if you guys, let's say you and 2 other brands from Sprouts, for example, that do a great business. If you were to go into a dairy buyer and go, listen, just put the 3 of us in, right? If you do the math on this, like we're going to do 12 cases. These guys are going to do another 4. These guys are going to do another 8. What do you got there, right? So you can keep rice pudding all you like, you can keep peach flavored yogurt, is it really going to do what this is going to do, right? Or like kick out some of those chocolate flavored yogurts that everyone tries every summer, get that stuff out of there. Like put us in, we'll rock it for you, right?
The brands don't want to come to Canada. So
it's a tougher country too. Remember, you got the stupid packaging laws. We have a lot of issues up
here. Are there any that cross over? Are you guys the only ones that cross over?
So no, there's some that cross the US, which is great. But again, it's the US is, by the way, people think it's so easy to just snap a finger, put it in there.
No,
their country's so big and their buying habits are so different state by state that it's like people go spray paint their product through brokers and they send it everywhere. But we have a 100-day shelf life. Remember that in the fridge. Right. That's not a long time.
Yeah.
Not 85 when it gets to the store because of
Chop.
Yeah, so it's chop, right? So
for
us, the whole thing is like also it's like, we didn't rush the US. We're playing it very smart. We're taking regional by Whole Foods in the US. We're taking regions and we're launching them by region. Sprouts was a national one just because Sprouts was a good to get on the spin.
It's a great play.
It was a great play. And then now, obviously, we've spoken with Target, their team for future for 2023 around. They have a great set built for our types of products, and they do really, really, really well. So once we build our awareness, and you guys know us, we're all over the media, right? So what we're doing is we're using the media to get the awareness across the US, and we're penetrating. You can see through social where our following is going. And when our following hits a certain threshold in a city, we launch retail in the city. And then we tell the things, and then we also use influencers to push the awareness. But the great thing about the US is placement has a destination. So just sitting on the shelf there, at least we're getting people that want this type of product and they know where to find it.
Right.
Now, Canada, we have to push it there. We have to really push. And for us, it's just like, I don't know, the efforts just might not be worth it right now to do that in Canada, to create that entire story pitch, the whole 9 yards, when we have that coming in the US where it's blowing up really quickly there. Here, we just got to maintain and build, whenever we do launch new retail, like Vancouver, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of awareness, events, trial, and distribution. But we're not going to give it 150% of our time right now. We're going to give it to the Sprouts, California, Texas, where we're doing really, really well. And we're building it out pretty strong, and we're learning our kinks and our kinks and errors.
Yeah.
There, right?
Yeah.
We're in a weird state because we scaled manufacturing. We're still dealing with a lot of those problems, but sales will probably do $10 to $11 million this year in revenue, and we're going aggressive to 2022. We want to hit 20 to 30. So in order to hit that, it will come from Canada. Canada will do a great portion of it, but the U.S. side. Yeah, and we want.
It's all U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all U.S. I mean, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
So growth-wise, so that's an interesting conundrum, right? Because when you get into it, the numbers that you're citing are amazing, right? Like, so the push that you're going to make, but you're going to be pretty resource challenged, right? So as a marketing guy, right? I'm looking at the stuff that you're doing on LinkedIn, the media pushes that you have, and they're amazing. But like, I got to ask you, right? Like, how much time do you guys spend on content creation? I feel like that is, like you're almost media personalities, and no disrespect, because you guys are building an amazing business, but at this point, I feel like you're more media personalities than you are founders or operators of the business, right? Which probably just means you don't sleep, but
typically what that means.
So you brought up a good point. So we're trying to create a boy band. So imagine boy band takes on selling chocolate records, right? And the reason why is you can always relate to one of the members of the band, right? So we're looking for tribalism and community. That's what we're really focused on. Now, from an operation standpoint, we still operate. The good thing is the team that we've built a media team within the company. So they take everything. So $500,000 of investment goes to content creation yearly, which is a lot of money. For creators and in-house. It's all in-house. And it takes up a lot of time. But what we do is right now we're bringing on talent for different reasons. So we are bringing on someone on the operating side. We're bringing a new VP of retail in the US.
You kind of need it.
You need it.
We're bringing more executives in that could fit our culture. That's very hard to find, by the way.
No doubt.
And I think that's the key piece here is we need the right, we're going to call it MDS 3.0. We had 2.0 during COVID. We brought in some good teams. We had hard workers. Everyone was working their asses off. Now we need A+ talent to help us at that higher level thinking to get that 10 to 30 and 10, maybe 30 to 100 after that. And the goals in that is basically having those people come in, help us execute it, continue building the brand hype that we're doing from the media, because that gets the consumers really to love us, and that gets investors to love us because they're like, holy shit, like we don't stop seeing you. LinkedIn's one source. I use that as a little bit of my microphone. But Instagram, we're getting thousands on thousands of views. Imagine Bell Center full, Canadian stadiums full of people just watching and then consuming and purchasing and then advocating. So it's working for us. Like at Sprouts, when we launched, because we did a whole commercial campaign and we got influence, we had this whole media push. We ended up selling out in a lot of the stores that had it on the shelf, at least. Some didn't. And they reordered from their DCs. KeHE reordered 2 times already in 10 or 12 days, which is quite crazy. So for us, if we can continue the media, get operators within the company, and continue to build that hype and that excitement and that personal connection with the consumer in a very innovative way, we're going to win. And then also obviously develop good products. That's most important. But so the next raise that we do is solely dedicated to R&D and media, and then just talent. That's the 3 things. That's it. Not manufacturing, because that's through the Quebec government. And it's gone. And we get debt financing from the government. So that's where we're at. But again, I think something that's been tough is, like I said, is just, pioneering here in Canada, but balancing the US, the resources that need to go to the US, because merchandisers need to be in the US. You need all kinds of stuff happening. You need boots on the ground.
People forget though, when you say Texas and California, versus BC, we got 5 million people spread out over probably 2 Californians and half of Texas.
Mhm.
There's 70 million people in that space.
Crazy.
Where do you want to spend your time?
Yeah, there.
Sorry, you got no choice. I mean, at the end of the day, I know you're not going to forget Canada. That's all good, but at the end, you've got to go. You got to go where the people are. And the thing is, what'll happen is the more they talk down there, the more we buy up here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because the media spills over. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's how the game plays, right?
Yeah.
Canada's our home. Canada's our home, and we will always be headquartered here.
Yeah.
And in Montreal, and we want to put Montreal on the map. Like I don't know if I told you guys before, but the goal is not to sell the company. It's to build it and see it past 100 million in revenue and see what is next after that. What happens when a food startup, takes it to not acquired and then sees it past that? So past the stage of, being acquired by Mondelez, Hershey's, Nestle,
Yeah.
It's so bad.
and then trying to win it at the top.
Yeah.
Like why? Like, look, I know that we can innovate consumer innovation innovate product and
Yeah.
innovate. We speak with our consumers and connect with them deeply.
Yeah.
What conglomerates cannot do. They just
No.
can't. So why take the lightning out of the bottle and just put it in the printing machine when the printing machine will do good, but it won't, it will kill the lightning. It will just kill it. And I think that's a big problem that you're seeing a lot of companies, which great companies like Smart Sweets got acquired. You've got other ones, Perfect Bar got acquired, Hue Chocolate got acquired, Kind Bar got acquired. You've got some great companies that didn't, I respect them totally for taking the deal, but you didn't get to see it through. You don't get to see what's next. What happens?
But that becomes what drives the intent, though. A lot of people start up with the intent of selling, right? That's why a lot of them don't make it, to be very frank with you. The examples you gave, I mean, God bless them, they did the work. But a lot of them, if you go with the intent of selling, it's a very different game. It's a different play. It's a different thing. When I watch you guys, I mean, you guys are mental, but that's okay. I love you guys anyway. But, it's all good. But you guys are at least authentic. Like, that's what you are. That's what you guys do. That's what you guys believe. And you can tell that you're more interested in seeing this go than worrying about seeing it sell.
Yep.
Like, there's always different angles in it, right?
But I don't know. I mean, the only thing I'll say is I think there is a different attitude. So it depends on who acquires you too. Like, it's funny because I was
tough,
talking
though,
about
Phil. Any major that's acquiring.
But there are some great cases. Like, so
there's better now than there used to be.
Like a Mondelez probably doesn't have any cases that are good, right? Because they acquire always with the intent of, like, let them do their own thing, and they always wind up swallowing it up, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like a Unilever, for example, Unilever's proven they can do it. Like, look at Ben and Jerry's, right? Like, that business, it continues to grow. So, like, I'm not making the case that you should go and sell, because it looks like you've actually had offers and you've said no, right? But I think it depends on who. Like,
it really depends on the buyer, but it's tough.
There is a
once
moment,
you get into the machine.
Look. But the thing is, you spend $500,000 on 11 million. That's 6%, marketing spend. So for most companies that are $11 million, 6% is their entire marketing budget, right? Like, it's not one portion. You still have marketing over and above that. So having the right parent company could be, like, it really could be something where you go, listen, like, this is a formula for success. If you're going to acquire us, the founders here, they need to keep doing what they're doing, because that's what makes this thing grow, just like Ben and Jerry's, for example, right? But I do respect that opinion. I think that I think we want to see where you guys go, because I feel like there's like a million places you could go.
I can't wait to see what the next, it's not going to be Midday Squares forever. It's going to be other things that are going to come into this mess. I'm dying to see what you guys produce.
Is this like early morning squares and late night squares?
The future, guys, is
maybe rounds. Maybe they're going to go mental. Triangles. Who knows?
So we're doing a rebrand December. You'll see it's a completely different look. Not the content's the same. The content will stay in the media side, but the packaging, everything has changed. It's very new, very innovative. It took from fashion, from cosmetics, brought it to the food space. And like, for us, we're going after chocolate. So if you look at chocolate has not just bars. You could do cereals. You could do frozen.
Tons of stuff.
So yeah, as long as we do three things. There's three things: real foods, ingredients. That's always a priority.
Yeah.
Real chocolate, which means use cocoa butter and darker chocolate. We want to stay in the darker.
Good.
And then plant-based, obviously, that's what we always want to do, plant-based. And then most importantly, have some sort of added value to have it. So our bars fill people up. They like to have them midday because it keeps them full for 2-3 hours, 4 hours.
Yep.
let's eat the next meal. We will
Yep.
always say that. And then from a marketing standpoint, from now on, from the peanut butter onwards, it's always going to be taste like A. It's not going to be a Me Too product, but it's going to remind you of your nostalgic reminder of what you had when your palate was having something else in the past, where these successful big conglomerates have built massive legacy brands.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that idea. Like the
Yeah.
Reese thing is a good idea. I mean, I know exactly what a Reese tastes like. I love Reese peanut butter cups.
Exactly. It reminds
So as soon as you tell me you're like a Reese, then I know exactly what you are.
Exactly. And then we're reforming our first two flavors right now to be like a brownie bite, like 2-bite brownie from the first
Yeah.
one. And then the almond crunch with more Ferrero Rocher, very like Ferrero Rocher.
Beautiful.
So we're playing that. And then after these 6 flavors, so we're going to do about 6 flavors more in the refrigerator of the Midday Square line. We're going to go into other stuff. Like I said, new chocolate snacks that are innovative in the way that they're texturized and all built. But the reminder, the taste will always be that way. And then the company will move into MDS as the name. So the company's actually going to back away from Midday Squares and move into the MDS.
Got it.
Yeah. Using it.
So parent company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know us. They're always like, what's up, MDS? What's doing the MDS? So for us, it's like, it's more natural to bring it back to that and then see where that goes, because Midday Squares is the first line and we want it to be known for that line.
Right.
We want to be able to do 100 million with 6 SKUs across North America within the next 3 years, just with that line specifically. That line specifically. And we believe we could do it. If you look at the turns, if you scale that across the different grocery channels and the online channels, we could do it. Now, after that, if we have that kind of cash coming in, you could see we're going to be doing crazy fucking shit. Like, we're creating a music video, and what food company would create a music video to?
You guys could.
We did it, and
Yeah,
you're going to track and everything. But our investors don't care because they know that shit that we do is what drives the entire hype side of it.
Yeah.
And what's the community building, like a Lululemon, like a Nike, like a Starbucks, Sephora. Not like a Kellogg's or a Quaker, which are great. They're great companies, don't get me wrong, but they don't have community. They don't have tribalism. They're getting a 1 to 3 multiple. Then you look at Lululemon, it's like a 12 plus multiple.
Right. Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
No, totally agree. That makes total sense. Total sense.
It's just, we're eating dog poo for a long time. So we're still going to eat dog poo. We're burning a ton of money, burning $220,000 a month. But the equity is growing, man. Like I'm telling you, like the tribal is what Hershey's wanted. They like that. They're attracted to how do they connect with consumers? And it's simple. You said it right before, Penny. Authenticity, transparency, and authenticity. We don't bullshit the way we are on camera. It's who we are individually. It's actually what we believe in. We believe we want to take the company the whole way, and that's our intent.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel that. Novelty gets attention, but authenticity keeps attention.
Well, authenticity is the only thing that keeps it going, because at the end of the day, I'm going to like you for who you are or I'm not.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
it's hard to like you
now,
and then 2 minutes later, you're sometimes thinking, well, where did he go? I like that other guy.
Yep.
Right. But the other guy wasn't real. That's a difference. I mean, again, there's sometimes where, I love you, man, but there's days I think, okay, I can't do this right now. It's a little too much for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's too much energy.
I want to hug him. I'm so proud of him.
I'll watch it later.
He came to the bar. I was so excited to see us go.
Yeah.
But today, right now, he's too much for me. I gotta relax.
2 coffees, and then I'll come back and
then
watch
I'm on.
whatever Jake's
But
gonna
not right
say,
now.
so.
He's too much for me.
Exactly. That's the beauty. But the beauty is, imagine we cut. Like if you told me today, no problem, I can cut a lot of that spend. We'll have serious profits. The problem is you take away the juice. If we wanted to keep a business the way that we want, if we want to keep being that hot brand that's being spoken about, you got to invest in it. And the marketing, Phil, is for us. You're right. Media is our marketing team. So performance marketing we spend, but that's on a different category. That's basically the digital ads. Little different, but we bring them into our ecosystem. We have the podcast. We have all this shit. We have some stuff like this. I get on things like with you guys here.
Yeah.
This continues to build our brand because they feel that rock star energy, and they feel this brand doesn't sound like a typical.
Yeah, I got it. So
I don't know. I think it's super exciting.
I have 2 questions for you. One is, how did it feel? Because I read that Hershey's came in and tried to buy you guys or offer to buy you out. How did it feel?
So they reached out via email and they spoke with my partner, Nick. He actually is very close with their head of M&A there. He's a super nice guy, the guy. He's been back and forth from Hershey's 4 times. Very smart individual. And they had a meeting. They had an hour call, 5 of them on their M&A team. And basically it was surreal because if you look at Hershey's, growing up, I ate Hershey's my whole life.
Yeah.
And we all have, and we love they've done a great job building a legacy. Now they're kind of veering into some identity crisis, in my opinion. But they basically told us like this, like, we love what you guys are doing. We can't do it. We can't go do that. It's just, it's unable to. But they were very transparent on that it would be brought into the machine. And that is unattractive. That is unattractive right there.
That'll kill it.
So it would kill it. And it wasn't a formal direct offer. It was an informal one. That basically saying, if you guys want this, we will be willing to pay this and do that. And for us, it just like politely rejected. And the article that came out, we actually didn't want that to go public because, it's private. It's more or less private.
Yeah. It's a private conversation.
We have a great relationship with their head of M&A.
Yeah.
And the good thing is they're still, my brother-in-law is very close with them still. And they're going to watch our journey. And for us, it's like, you'll probably see them acquire another chocolate-like brand, I think, in the next year or two. I don't know who would be. I have no idea. But, I think Lily's was acquired. I don't know if it was by them or someone else, but Lily's chocolate was acquired recently.
Yeah.
So
I saw that too.
I think Mondelez Hershey's are going against each other head on head with snacking, modern day snacking, innovation on, better for you snacking. But again, for us, we're seeing it through, and it was a good feeling, but it's like also like, keep our head down. The noise is just noise at the end of the day. Like nothing. It really does. And, people think we're crazy for even not wanting to be acquired. But at the end of the day, you trust your gut. You go with your gut, and usually it's right 9 out of 10 times. Whenever we didn't go with our gut, we were always wrong, actually. And we had big errors with hires, with investors, certain things, and it hurts you in the long run, right? So I have no purpose otherwise right now in my life. And I think I can speak for my partners as well. If we were to leave this entity, we're having fun with it, even though there's drama every day, more or less. Manufacturing is such a difficult thing. But it gives me life. It actually gives me energy. So I don't know.
It's cool. I like that. Man. Yeah. And then last question from me, at least, is how does it feel being a media personality? Is this something one day when MDS isn't in your life, or is kind of like a small part of your life, or if it ever is this kind of where you see yourself going next?
Great question. So I was the original. So when we started day one, for your listeners to hear, is I made my team. I said, guys, Shark Tank's on a tear, Kardashians' lifestyles on a tear on terms of reality television. I said, entrepreneurs are being celebritized through Shark Tank, even though it's very surface level. Yeah. People are starting to love it and fall in love. And the show, people love watching it. So I said, guys, the only way we win is in a market like we just discussed, guys, with 30,000 SKUs in a supermarket that people are paying for serious space. They're guaranteeing sales. Being a small business, it's very hard to win. So I said, the only way we win is if we break the attention barrier by celebritizing ourselves as the brand. And then we don't have to rely on endorsement deals with a celebrity, an athlete, an artist, or to get out there. We could win by building it ourselves and having that relatable factor. So the boy band mentality, right? And when we did that, we started filming everything. The iPhones came out, we started filming, then we hired a videographer. And it became, at first it was strange, but it was natural to me. My partners hated it. But then when they start to see how much it actually pays off, not in terms of dollar value, but in terms of connectivity with the consumer, they're like, holy shit, this is crazy. You have a fan base that will go out there and do anything for you. So whether that's opening up a retailer, whether that's moving merchandise, whether that's, getting us a supplier. We had a coconut sugar crisis. They found us, we couldn't find any supplier. They found us the supplier. The machine showed up a day later, free of charge. Like, it was crazy from literally a consumer. And then I see myself in the future going into media, but more for I really believe in two things: being unapologetically yourself and not following society guidelines. And if I could help other people realize that, I realized it young. I realized it at 25 years old, which is really good because I was going to become an actuary, man. And I hate
you could
wow, that is a picture I cannot see.
Kenny Casey, my brother, for anyone that doesn't know, my brother Casey was the one that was forcing me into actuary, believe it or not. He's like,
because he's an old man.
Yeah, he's an old man, exactly. The guy,
I love him.
This kid's in my house right now.
You were like the Justin Timberlake
yes
of snacks.
Yes.
I
If you
think
could be
that's- I think
that's huge.
Phil,
You're not
quote you.
JT. You're JK.
I love it.
JK of the snack category
love
is what
it.
you are.
By the way, guys, COVID was very hard for me because I was doing a lot of stuff physically, not just online digital stuff. I was doing speaking at universities.
Yeah.
I was doing things that helped me with that media personality. And then COVID came and not like Vancouver, but in Montreal and Toronto, couldn't do anything. Couldn't go do these things. So I went through, I had a breakdown, guys, in June where June 2020, where I felt rock bottom. I felt no purpose in life anymore because, again, I don't operate in the business. So I'm they call it a rainmaking position where I just build the relationships to bring in I QB a lot of things. So I'll basically bring in a buyer, become best friends with them.
Buddy, that's the best title ever.
I love it.
I'm Jake Karls, Rainmaker.
Rainmaker.
I do. I call it the rainmaking.
Oh my God.
So I wasn't operating. So what happened was I was feeling so down, no purpose, right? And I had to go through. We have a business therapist in house, right? That we see once a week, for purposes of this.
Yeah.
And I saw him, and I recharged. I worked with him really closely to find myself again. Even though we were killing it financially, like the sales were going up.
Yeah.
I had no purpose. I couldn't do what I was doing best.
When you're the ambassador and there's no channels for you, it's hard, right? Like it's a really tough. It's a tough place to be.
And I was being mean to people. Here's how I realized it. I was being mean to people close to me. I wasn't saying hi to any of my team members when I came to the office. I was just there. I was like I was in the morning, and my girlfriend and my family had come home and just be rude. So I realized something was wrong. Like that's not who I am. It's not who I am. And I finally caved, and I was like, I need to call it out for what it is. I fell mountain.
Yeah.
And now I climbed back, and now I'm finding purpose in redoing things. You don't have to be with big crowds necessarily. You could do it. This conversation between us three.
Yeah.
This is your personality growing is like that, right? And networking is something that I really do. I was just in the US for 2 weeks. I was literally on a road show every day, new people, bam, 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 bam. And guess what? Those now people then talk to other people, and it just dominates. Right. So finding my purpose again. But
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it too. And I think when I watch the three of you, your sister's got a role, your brother-in-law's got a role, you got a role. It's kind of cool to see that, like you've defined personalities that fit this craziness, right? Of this company, right? It's cool to watch. I love watching.
Very cool. Yeah. We do. On most days we like
Some
it.
days.
Sometimes.
It's a little much, but that's okay.
But we like the energy. We like watching you guys.
But guys, really like for example, I don't have to worry about manufacturing, even though it's so difficult. My sister takes care of it, and
that's perfect though.
And then my brother-in-law takes care of it. If we need financing, it's done. An operation, done. So, and then if they know that if the brand needs hype, they know I'll make it happen. So
exactly,
we'll question each other. And I think that's something that is really cool. And
it's a big deal.
You guys know communication is everything. If you don't have communication, how could you win? How could you possibly win? People don't interpret the word yes the same way. They don't interpret the word hi the same way.
Right.
People are different. Understanding humans is everything. And that's team members. We've had very hard times with team members. We make people dance, have fun and craziness. If you don't like that, no judgment, but this environment might not be for you, but let's get you out of the door and find you another job, because we need to bring someone in that's going to have this culture, because culture allows for the magic and serendipity to happen.
Right.
If you don't have it, we might not be what we are today. And I'm not saying we're anything wrong. We're small. We're still very small. But the good thing is we have a very bright future potentially on the hill ahead. And, for us, it's just like energy, communication, and just the idea of going out and executing are the three things that we need every day.
Stay to your core, buddy. You guys do what you're doing. You're going to be
it's fantastic.
You're going to have the 100 million before you know it.
Yeah.
When do we get to see both of you?
Soon, hopefully.
You guys come out.
Yeah.
Soon, hopefully.
I can't wait to start traveling.
Come to the factory in Montreal.
We would love it.
I have no.
We would actually.
Yeah, you don't have to twist my arm to get to Montreal.
Yeah.
I told you, man. That's my most favorite city in the world. I just wish the setting was here.
Yeah.
Take that city and put it here. You cannot touch that city.
It would kill it.
You know, honestly,
touch that city.
But seriously, like when we're actually allowed to travel again, it'd be great to do a cast from your.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
From your factory. I think that'd be really cool.
And we'll bring on my partners.
I'd love to meet your sister and
your we would love that. We would really love that. Yeah.
I think you guys should do a podcast with Nick and get like really nitty gritty and like in
Sure.
like details on like the
Bring 'em on.
finance.
Yeah,
like, how, like,
hook us
even
up. We'll do it.
how
We
do
love
this.
it. We really love it.
Remember, Jake,
Yeah.
because remember our role, because what Phil and I have always tried to do, and this is where we're trying to make sure that our podcast doesn't veer too
Yeah.
off the path either,
Yeah.
is try to remember the whole point of this was to show people, how you can do it. Pitfalls, the troubles, mental anguish, you see counseling, all those normal things that happen. And they're not scared to talk about. That's what the whole purpose of the podcast. So having your brother-in-law would be a great idea.
Yeah,
because it shows people.
it really
here's
would.
how, because he's going to give us a ton of mistakes too.
Oh yeah,
Here's shit that I did that I shouldn't have done.
Right.
Learn from it.
we went over budget on this. We
Okay, but
lost.
you
this.
learn.
You know how many crises we've had, and we share them a lot of the time. But at the end of the day, it's like people, you guys understand it. You guys get it because you guys been through this. You've seen it. You've worked on both sides of the aisle, whatever it is. But a lot of times we want to show the consumer how much it actually takes to build a product and get it out there.
Yeah,
And it's not just, okay, take this book and it sells. It doesn't just work like that.
It doesn't happen that way.
No, and I think there's this idea in life where it's easy. And I'm not saying people should start businesses and become entrepreneurs if they really want to, but it's not glorified beautiful flowers. Let me tell you, I might have people, like you said, see pictures, people taking pictures of midday squares on the street and laugh and smile. But I could sure as hell tell you that when you had $10,000 in the bank account and you've dumped so much of everything you've had into the business,
or a whole lot less. Yeah, or a whole lot less. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we've talked to some brands where it's not 10,000 in the bank; it's 10,000 in the hole, and their house is on the line, right?
House is on the line.
So
Their
it's,
family's on the
you
line.
know,
It's not.
it's a whole lot less hair on your head when that happens,
Absolutely.
right? Like you're.
I hope it doesn't happen to me. I want to have my hair,
Yeah.
You got a long way to go, buddy.
Yeah, you got a long way to
got
go.
a long way to go.
Yeah.
I just think I love the story. You
Yeah.
persevere, keep your head down, do your thing, stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Be
That's
Hey,
authentic.
Karls, thank you for being on. We really appreciate it. We'll put all your stuff down below. We would love to talk to Nick. So tell
So you
Nick,
wanna help set it up? Yeah, let's
hook us
do it.
up, and then
Yeah,
we will
love it.
have him on anytime he likes. And then really we'll reach out and figure out if we can do a factory podcast.
That'd be awesome.
We would really love that. We really
Give
really
your brother a hug and a kiss.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
You guys are family, so just know that. And by the
Thanks.
way, if you guys haven't tried the peanut butter, I want to send it to you. So please send me the addresses after, okay?
Okay.
Try-
You know what?
I'm-
I've been sending. So I during COVID, I've had all sorts of people in my network who are like, "Fuck, I would kill for a snack." And then like when you're in an office environment, sometimes you go out and grab a snack for somebody.
Yeah.
So I've actually sent midday squares to people
Not a
because, and people are like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Just try it, right?"
Just
and then
try
the
it, you
people
like
say,
it.
Oh my god! Like, what the hell? I got to keep buying
Oh.
this, right? So it's kind of a nice little thing to send.
No, but I want to send you guys a gift. So send me both your address. I have something, and send
Okay.
me your size of clothing as well. Okay.
That'd be
Thank you,
awesome.
sir. You got
Thank
it.
you, buddy.
Thanks.
You guys are family.
Okay.
I love you guys both.
Love you too, man. I'm glad
Thanks,
you came
Jake.
on.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're
remember,
glad.
the only reason you can diss us, Game 7, it's okay.
That's
Game
it.
3, that doesn't cut it.
Listen,
Except for the
that's
finals. Except for the finals.
There you go. Listen, go Habs, go.
That's it. Good luck.
Take care,
Bye,
Jake.
guys.
Take care, Jake.
Bye.
He's a
He's
good
hilarious.
shit.
I love
He's
that
a
guy.
good- You know what it is?
Yeah.
I just like guys with energy and the guys who just understand what they want to do and stay to it.
Listen,
What else do you want?
I gotta say, so like listeners, maybe I can't remember when I started recording, but like this is like Sunday at 10 a.m. my time and like 7 a.m. Kenny's time when we
Yeah.
started because Jake wasn't able to make it the other night. But when he started, I was like, fuck. Sunday morning. Like I've had a
Buddy,
really
it's 7
quiet
o'clock
Sunday
here. Like,
morning.
I'm tired. I gotta go outside.
So
do
when
some
he
work and then
started, I was like, oh
No.
shit,
we
I gotta
go.
change
No.
my brain. Like he is like at 10
He's wired
a.m.
for
He's
sound.
like, let's go.
he's you know what though? Every time I've met him, every time I've seen him, he's the same. That's just him.
Yeah, he really
That's
is. Like
just him.
he doesn't get up for the
There's
mic.
nothing.
Like,
No, this is it.
yeah.
That's why they're gonna do
He's-
well.
Yeah.
You know what? The three of them, when they
Yeah.
do their shit, they're honest. It's who they are. I mean, sometimes, like you and I've said, probably because we're a bit older, they tell more than I probably would tell, so publicly. But God bless them. They seem to work really well together.
Yeah.
They fight
Yeah.
online. That you can
Yeah,
tell, but
yeah.
they also hug online. Like I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
you guys really got your shit together. It's
Yeah. It's a different style of leadership, right? Like it's but it's cool. I think
It's nice.
the parts that surprised me a little, I mean, we always knew that they spent a ton of media, so that surprised me a little bit at how much exactly.
Yeah.
It's
a
a
big
lot.
number.
It's a lot, right? Like, you know, but it's great because if you're a little brand and you're wondering how much it costs to be out there, now you know, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a lot. So
No, it's also, remember, if you're a little brand, you don't have to go.
yeah, you don't need to go hog wild.
They've
like
had some
that.
different things too.
Yeah.
They've got, from what it sounds like, Nick's pretty well connected. He had some funding of his own. So
Yep.
there's different things. So, you
Yep.
know, my suggestion wouldn't be to mimic them exactly,
Yep.
but maybe in the same sort of percentage play. Like you need to spend stuff, but grow slowly. I mean, if you look at what they're doing, they're not going crazy. Like even their United States push, they're doing it smart. Sprouts is a big win. You know that drives spins. We've learned that. It drives spins. So it spins. You guys, people don't know it's like a Nielsen. It tells you how things are going in the States. So they do that. And now they're doing region by region.
Yeah.
I think, you know what, honestly, they're not making a lot of mistakes.
No.
And if they're
doing great
they're
things.
internal,
Yeah.
and they click on.
Yeah.
They've seen that, you know, and I love like the talk, you know, we've brought some people in, our gut told us not to, we did anyway, move them out into different things because it's good for everybody, right? But they're not, they're sticking to what they believe.
Yep.
Cool company. Bottom
very
line,
cool
company.
It's very cool, man.
Yeah, very cool. Seriously.
Very cool.
That was a really
that was
cool story.
super exciting. Yeah.
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 Okay, I gotta go in the yard, dig a shovel, dig a hole.
Chop, buddy. I'm heading up to Ottawa, so next time I talk to you, I'll be in Ottawa.
Sounds good.
So,
have a good trip. Drive safely.
Thank you.
Take care
Thanks.
of yourself.
Yeah.
And I'll chat with you
I'll talk to you soon. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay,
bye.
Bye.